Alright, what's up, Dragon Brood? Today we get to play some Boros, and honestly, you're going to be a little surprised that the Raphael that's actually making a big tournament impact right now is not the one you would think. So we're going to start with Seam Rip because, cheap removal, no surprise. We do have some Burst Lightning as well. Mostly, this is pretty good because it can also go upstairs still. We do have Fanatical Firebrand that can also pick off some creatures or just be a hasty attacker, which is important here. Stadium Headliner also doubles as some removal. Then we have Torch the Tower, just a couple copies, and Voice of Victory because we do want the extra bodies from the Mobilize. But Raphael Tough Turtle. Now, we have other versions of this card, which are also in the deck, but it's a 2-mana 1/3. When another creature you control enters, Raphael deals a point of damage to target opponent. But, Shocking Sharpshooter. This is basically the same thing, right? We've played this in other decks before, but now you get a little bit of redundancy, which gives you more ways to deal more damage. Speaking of which, we have Howl Squad Heavy, which also makes a token every turn, which can create more damage. You can also give Goblins haste. So there's a bunch of other things happening here. We do have Warleader's Call to go with Raphael and the Sharpshooter. So creatures entering the battlefield can do all kinds of damage. And then we're wrapping this all up in a nice bow with O'Hare Ashenil. So what this does is every time you would deal point of damage to your opponent from a red source, I believe, you actually deal damage equal to O'Hare Ashenil's power. Now, even if you just have this card out by itself, it's going to be 4. So all those little pings are now 4 instead of 1. So just top decking this after you play a Raphael or a Sharpshooter or whatever can start stacking up damage really quickly. Now, there are a couple of lands in here, nothing too surprising. The version I found does play 3 Dalkovin encampment. I'm a little hesitant because we don't want this necessarily coming into play tapped as much, so I'm going to remove 1 and play another mountain. I think we have plenty of white sources. That's still going to be 14 with just a few white cards, so I think we're safe there if we do that. But yeah, before we get into the video, y'all know what to do. If you're going to buy some Magic cards, check out our friends over at Tales of Adventure. It's TOAMagic.com. You can use my code DRAGON. Why? Because it'll save you 5%. That's DRAGN. Literally on anything you buy on the website. And we appreciate those that have already been doing it. But that aside, let's go see if all these top finishes are the real deal. Okay, let's keep it. We do have to play the Sacred Foundry first, though, because that's the only source of red damage here on turn 1. And obviously, start the creature going. Yeah, if y'all want to see how to get the little extra free emote here on this map, I made a short about it the other day, if y'all want to check it out. It's pretty straightforward. Just like click the arcade game and then check your messages. I think I'm gonna go ahead and off this elf. Alright, what you got? Badger Mole. We ain't gonna let that live either. This is why this deck plays so many small removal spells, though, for just this type of situation. Let's... you know what? Let's Seam Rip here. Mostly because we can send this damage upstairs, potentially. I don't know if we're going to get close enough that it's going to matter, but it could. Alright, opponent's at 12. Also, we can have a turn where we, like, sack a headliner, shoot something with Burst Lightning. So we're not even all that afraid of something like a, Ouroboros. Got anything to do with that other 2 mana? You do. You have a Tifa. Oh, you may not even be on an Ouroboros plan. Look at you. Yeah. Let's get this out the way first. Let's attack. Get our credit for those first. Off a Tifa. The opponent goes to 6. Alright, cool. That works. Ooh, this is fun. Alright, sure. And then next turn we have options, I guess. Nope, never mind. I mean, we do, but we really don't. We're going to go ahead and get Raphael down. He's one of the reasons we even wanted to play this deck. And then I think because the opponent hasn't done anything here, while it's tempting to play Sharpshooter and like a Firebrand, I think we do this so if they play something along the lines of a like Star Cage, we'll still have the Howl Squad Heavy left over and these cards in our hand. Alright, opponent's at 10 already. And see, they had a Star Cage. We didn't get wrecked because of it. Sometimes not being greedy has its own benefits. Alright, opponent goes down to 4. Battlefront, you got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't imagine what they would have gotten there, because even if it was something that removed a creature, we lose the heavy, and then we would still be able to ping them down to 3, and then attack and or sack Firebrand. So we were in pretty good shape there still. Yes. I don't know why I hesitated. Like, we're obviously keeping this, right? Go attacking? Alright, I was just like, before I play something, let's see if you want to do anything to our little goblin. But looks like the answer was no. Now, they might want to do something to a Voice of Victory. That I could see happening. Oh, I'm obviously giving that guy up. That's not even a question. Opponent's saying, nice deck. Alright. Get those tokens in there. Man, if they don't deal with this board, Warleader's Call is about to go nuts. Michelangelo, sure. Probably going to get some counters on this turn and just be big. The best part is, we actually have answers for the whole thing. And then we can get rid of Michelangelo. Yep, and then we get to attack for a ton. Yeah, that's crazy. Opponent was about to take 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we did put him from 15 to -2 in just that one turn. That's wild. And I think we only had connected with 1 attack prior to that. Maybe 2? Yeah, crazy stuff. Let's keep it. Yeah, we're not doing anything else here. I'm not leaving up a Burst Lightning. We'll just let that be a problem for future us. Go attacking? A little strange. Counter, I guess? Okay, so it's one of those types of decks. Good to know. Downside is, our Seam Rip's going to do a whole lot of nothing in this fight. So it sucks to know that, but what you going to do? This is one where I think we're going to get beat up. And the one thing I will say about this deck is it does pretty well from what I can see against other, I guess what you'd call regular competitive decks that you'd see in tournaments. But it's going to struggle against some things in Best of One that are just random that you don't see, really. So, something to think about for sure. I'm going to assume they went and got a Wrath here anyway. So, let's... Yeah, let's just go attacking. Yeah. I don't see much changing here. So we'll go ahead, just end the turn. Another cornucopia, that works. And I'm not losing my house squad heavy? Seems a little bit surprising. I don't know if I want to draw a card or if I want to... I'm going to make a token, I guess. Though, that feels closer than it is, I think. Because it generally felt like drawing a card might be okay there. Alright. Heavy coming in. Actually, heavy's not coming in. All the little ends are coming in. If we were closer to finishing the opponent, I might consider letting them block the heavy, but... I'm just trying to figure out what they're sitting on. Because some of you are probably wondering, like, you could torch plus burst lightning the avatar. Yes, we can. However, I don't know what the opponent's doing here. And I don't want to risk it unnecessarily. Oh, there has to be another counter, right? Because we really haven't played anything for the last couple turns. I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to hold here. Even though we could finish off the avatar, I think I'm going to wait. Well, let me think about this. I can also tap the house squad heavy for 2 more mana, right? Oh, for 3 more mana. All right, let's do that. And then it has to be like 3 steps ahead. Because another one and no more lives we could pay for. Okay. In the turn. I mean, I'm anticipating them sweeping the board at some point here anyway. But we'll likely just sack a token, draw a card. Uh-oh. That's not good. This is probably the big Jeskai, whatever. Bounce some things, deal 4, gain some life, draw some cards. Because they do have 7 mana here. Oh, curse recording. That could be more dangerous, actually. Okay. Yeah, sure. Like, we knew that was coming. It's one of the reasons I considered just drawing a card sooner. Because we would like to get to some more threats, which we did not draw here. And we are continuing to not draw them. Which is real bad. Well. Alright. Pass the turn. I mean, I guess we just make a token. What else are we going to do? Like, it's not good, but we get to try to attack. I mean, it's in here. Does the gimmick work? The gimmick does work. Man, and we have none of our pingers. So sad. Also should have played a land first, so I could have left Fountain Port untapped. You're gonna draw a bunch of cards, I assume. Yep. As they should. Yeah, if we had, you know, even a like Warleader's Call or something during this, I'd feel better. But with us not, I don't think we have a real way to win this game. Like, we've also only drawing 3 creatures? Yeah, that's not good. Can't really get there on just 3 creatures. That's kind of bad. Go to attacks. I didn't activate the land there because I thought they might have a removal or something. Alright. I mean, they're going to gain more life, draw more cards or something here. Do they have a way to get rid of this? If there are 3, are there 7 or more? Okay. Alright, cool. Now we can go. Like, we didn't have to wait now. Yeah, that's a case of both a bad matchup and a bad draw. So there's no way we were going to win that one. Okay. I mean, I'm usually going to be the one to advocate for not keeping a 1 land hand. I think it's generally pretty bad. But with our hand being what it is, I was willing to gamble for the sake of content. Another Chocobo. And something else that they chose not to play. That doesn't feel good. What if we just play Headliner? Alright, then I'm not going to use my torch yet. I feel like they have a protective spell, so we're going to have to be real careful on when... Well, now we're not even going to get to shoot it with that, so that play is out the window. Like, our only shot would be to sacrifice this and shoot it, and I think that's bad. I think that's not going to get us what we want. Now, here's something to consider. If, and this is kind of a big if, we draw an untapped land over the next 2 turns, we could, in theory, play Raphael this turn, then O'Hare Ashenale. I mean, between those, we might be able to get enough damage. We'll see. It's going to be a tough one. Alright. Go to 15. Yeah, so I'm getting the feeling that they're sitting on a bunch of protective spells because they're not playing creatures here. And we don't have the guaranteed 4th land, so I might want to make some goblins. Partially because that could help us get to more mana faster. And on future turns, these goblins could also chump block, which is important. So I'm only going to attack with 1. Leave me the option to block if I feel we need to, because they might have like Chocobo Kick or something. We see that a lot in the online list. Though you don't see them in the paper list a lot, you do see them in the ones that get played online. Yeah, I think we do block here. I'm okay with that. Okay, still didn't find what we were looking for, so that's a little tough. I think we're going to Raphael. And I think we play Stadium Headliner. I'm just trying to be careful and figure out what the opponent's hand is, because it's obviously not creatures at this point. And this is 8 damage on its own, if we get that down. Because we'll make 2 creatures on the turn we attack. Or, we could also attack and sacrifice the Headliner, make them use a spell, then try to shoot it with Torch Tower. Granted, I think they have at least 2 protective things, so I don't think that's a real option here. But I could be very wrong. We'll see. Okay. This tells me they have a protective spell, because why else would you be attacking like that? So unless we want to double block when we have mana up just to threaten it to make them use it, we're never going to get a chance to kill it. Like, that would be the only type of scenario where that works. Now, granted, we know that, so we're not that concerned about it. Now, the other problem could be if that hand is, like, overprotects and stuff. That would be really bad. Alright, so now that we have... We can produce 3 mana right now? 4 if we do it. I think we wait and see if we can get tricky on defense. Because here's the interesting thing, right? We could respond, then respond with a headliner. And just see what happens here. And then we'll still have House Squad Heavy, and we can just O'Hare Ashenel. And that should be lethal. And I don't think the opponent's going to see it coming. So this is okay. I don't think we lose here. I mean, I guess you could have the Chocobo. Yeah, it's not going to matter. All right. We're fine. Like, we don't even have to, like, combat. We can keep all of our creatures. And before we, well, we just found the mana anyway. I would say before we even get into the damage step, opponent's just going to die. Yep. And then all those trigger. Nice. Nice. We did the thing. That was crazy because we did basically all our damage on one turn. Opponent just had big Chocobo growing with protective spells in hand, and we never had to risk it and get in trouble. We literally sat with this Torch to Tower the whole time. It's kind of wild, but sometimes they work out. Oh, are we gambling on one land again just for y'all's entertainment? Sure, why not? We're on the draw, right? But do as I say, not as I do. Don't play one-landers. It's usually going to end up bad for you. Honestly, one-landers are going to end up worse than they are better more often than not. For situations just like this, where we might not actually... If we don't draw a land here, this is going to be very, very sad. And this is also why you don't take the risk. Nope. Not going to even entertain us having a stadium headliner? Are you not entertained as the headliner would do in a stadium? Okay, so we found that. The problem here is we know the opponent is leaving mana up to either counter or destroy something, so let's just see what they do. Now, yes, I could have attacked with the Firebrand and got another point in there. But I was kind of hoping they would deal with the headliner and then we could play Raphael. That didn't work out, so we're just going to play Firebrand and leave up the Burst Lightning. Not that I'm sure it really does anything, but we'll see. Right now, we look like kind of a goofy, bad Goblin deck to the opponent, I'd imagine. Okay, there's a stock up. I guess a white land would be nice, but also Day of Black Sun or something would hurt quite a bit too. Yeah, this is what happens. We're banking on a lot off of the top of the library. And that is not it. Ugh, gross. Alright, I think I'm just going to do this then. Put the Raphael down and go attacking. But when we lose, this is again why I say, look at how decks win or lose, not if they won or lost when you're looking at different content videos. Because this one is very likely going to be a loss, but I also kept a 1-land hand that I shouldn't have kept, right? What are you doing here, opponent? And we have to assume some sweeper, deadly cover-up, something like that is coming, right? So we only have so much time before we have to deal with that as well. Oh, it's a weird Reanimator pile? It's not that at all? Ew. Well, I mean, same difference. They'll still beat us with that next turn. Like, doesn't really change much. We're in the same situation. Overlord, sure. I mean, we're losing just the same. It doesn't really matter what they do here. Okay, the fact they didn't pick up a creature tells us everything we need to know. The best we could get in here is 1. Let's see, it's 3, 4, 5, 6. Shoot them for 7, 8. Yeah, we're not going to be able to win. I'll go through the motions here, but game's basically over. And rightfully so. Kept a bad hand. We're going to be able to get them down to, I guess, 5, and that will be it. Now, if we'd had a Warleader's call, we could have got on the battlefield here. We could have won, but such is life. All right, GG's. Well, we definitely can't keep this. We have the encampment problem we talked about in the opener, and we drew 3 Ashadale, so that's not good. Let's keep this, though, and put back 1 mountain and see if that backfires. Dream Beavers. Every time I see Dream Beavers, I just like assume it's the mill deck. I don't know if it is or not, but we'll see. I say that. Well, I have seen it in a couple of Orzhov aggro lists. And there's an Orzhov land. Look at that. Sometimes you just get it right. Let's go ahead and get rid of Dark Leo and play us a Stadium Headliner. So they were trying to just get a Dark Leo in early, get some damage in, and start making some ninjas. And that's what their game plan was. What do we do here? I don't want to waste 2 removal on this guy, right? That feels bad. I kind of want to, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't want to, but I kind of want to. Really could have used a land there, though. Gonna shelter. No, a Dream Beavers. Another one. Okay. Well, you had 2 Dark Leos already. We can torch the Beaver. Actually, we could get rid of both these creatures. And still sit on the Headliners. So let's torch you. And then let's torch you. Sacking one of these. I mean, yeah, I'll take that. We'll need a 3rd land at some point anyway. Okay, so far, we've staved off 2 Dream Beavers and 2 Dark Leo and Shredder. Can't ask for a whole lot more. And if they get lost, one of these to get a creature back, we'll just sack a Headliner. So we at least have a game plan. I just don't know what the rest of their deck is. If it's like Shredders or Splinters they're trying to sneak onto the battlefield or something. Like, I don't really know. Whose technique is that? That's Kyrie's technique. Or Carrie's? Karai's? There you go. It's probably more accurate. +3 MS. Alright, cool. Good to know. We're still attacking. Might as well just play the other one now. Alright. There is a splinter. Well, we've gotten good at calling the cards the opponents are likely to play here. Let's sack one of these, because now we're just getting to where they're going to get low enough from us just punching through, because now they go to 6 from here, right? Yeah. Come on, untap land. Or Warleader's Call. We would take either one. Hey, you do what you gotta do, fam. House squad heavy. Sure. It's more mana efficient for roughly the same amount of damage over the next 2 turns. Did we weather the storm? Because they take a turn off to kill a creature here, they just lose. Actually, they probably just lose anyway, because if they play a creature, we just sacrifice Headliner. So unless they have 2 things, I don't think they're alive here. Yep. I think they did the work. We survived the Orzhov sneak deck. Or Orzhov ninja deck, whatever you want to call it. Sneaky ninjas. I mean, I guess they could remove the House Squad Heavy and still have like a 1 mana removal spell. Oh. Okay. Go to the attack step. I mean, obviously you have something here, right? Like, what's the plan? We're just flashing something in? Oh, well that makes sense. Sure. You got it. I mean, why not? You're paying the sneak deck, right? Of course you have that. Alright, they go to 1. And then they'll have to wait to get more creatures on the battlefield, so sure. And now, even if they make 3 blockers, we have 5 attackers next turn? 6? Ooh, okay, so here's a weird thing. Normally I would say mulligan this if you don't have any white mana in this scenario, because we can't play any creatures before turn 4. However, we're on the draw, and we have 2 removal spells that each cost 1 that we can cast, and this is why we do it, right? We're glad we kept this, and we drew the land coincidentally. So that kind of works out. And I'm okay using Burst Lightning here, because Torch can deal 3 down the road. Oh, wow. So opponent kept a hand with just the Scavenger, and they were leaning on that to get all their work done. Wow. Wow. Okay. Sure. So we got even more rewarded. Again, don't know if I would normally do it, but under the circumstances and current standard, I think that was a fine keep. Yeah, I think they're going to concede here if they don't have a land. Nope, they're going to play on. Alright. Yeah, we were talking in this video though, right? You keep 1-landers, stuff like this happens. Especially in their case, where I get it, you know, the deck's cheap creatures and all that. But you got to have mana. Yeah, now I don't think they even have a play to get out of trouble here. Yeah, it's a Weaver. Oh gosh, we just have all the bases covered. And I do feel for the opponent, because I know their whole thing was like, oh, if I just get a second land. But even then, you know, if we get rid of a creature, then the extra land still puts them behind, right? Because now you're only doing one thing a turn, even with your cheap spell deck. Same thing that we deal with this deck, right? You got to be able to play multiple things or use an effect, or in their case, play a thing and put a shelter on it or any of that stuff. All right, you have an aerialist. It's gonna do its best to hold the fort, I guess. You got it. Yep, that'll do. Well, it's the all red hand. Let's see how it goes. I think actually, no, you're supposed to mulligan this. I think anytime you have double Ashenale, that's not where you want to be. Because realistically, you only ever want one anyway. And it's the most expensive thing in the deck. So you kind of end up getting stuck where if your top couple of draws, you know, say 2 of our next 3 cards are not lands, we're not going to be able to play Ashenale on time, and it's going to feel pretty bad. Which is a bummer. I think we just go ahead and get rid of the elf there. And this headliner was not a land, so we will not be having Ashenale on time, most likely. Unless it's land off the top here. And there's a Badger Mole. And we will remove that as well. Oh, sad times, sad times. So we have not seen a land since the game started. We need... These next 2 being lands would be real hype, but... Don't know. Alright, another Badger Mole. Oh, dang it. Alright, well, I have to give this creature up, unfortunately. Otherwise, the opponent untaps with potentially 6 mana next turn, and that's too bad for us, honestly. Alright, still have more mana to spend here. Wow! And not saving any of it to block. That is a choice. I'm going to go ahead and see if they block. Okay, they didn't. I feel like they're just trying to get Ouroboros down at this point. Which they very well might be. The thing is, though, if we can get House Squad Heavy down and then Ashenale down, like, we could still win this. Alright, there's Ouroboros. We're still not totally in trouble yet, though. Alright. So we put them to 5 here. 4. Because we're going to make a token. Attack. This obviously gets blocked. I mean, I'm tapped out, opponent. You saw me play my land. Just block. I mean, I don't know what trick they think I have, but we'll see. Maybe they're just, their connection's bad or something. This is going to be wild if we end up winning this, though, after being stuck on 2 land till, whatever, turn 6 or whatever we're on. Alright, Riddler, sure. So if the opponent attacks at all, we just win, right? Actually, no, do we win anyway? Even if we don't play... Because we play House Squad Heavy, they go down to 3, to 2, to 1. Yeah, that's it. Go Raphael, just holding the fort down for us. And then we attack. Hell of a way to get there, but, I mean, you take what you can get. They ain't gotta be pretty, y'all. Alright. Oh, no. I mean, we can't throw this back, but this is what we talked about with the encampment kind of forcing our hand here. The good news, we are on the play, so we weren't going to have a chance to really play the seam rep anyway. We just get to see what decisions we're going to make on turn 2. Oh, wait, no. We don't have any red mana. I forgot. This one, oh, no. This is going to be a bad keep, y'all. we have to top deck a red source. I mean, I guess technically we have like 2 turns because we could play Voice of Victory, but we're going to need some help. But we'll see if that help comes or not. Storm Chase's talent. Okay. Okay, we found red mana, so that's very helpful. I think we go ahead and play Voice of Victory. And at least force the opponent's hand a little bit here. Right? If they have something to get rid of a creature, they'll just target Voice of Victory here. If we get what we want, we would like to Raphael and Simic Rhythm next turn. I mean, I say that. Ultimately, obviously, we'd probably rather Warleader's Call, but we'll see what happens. Okay, they decided to Artist Talent here. So we are put into a little bit of a decision here. Because Warleader's Call is obviously very good. Raphael is easier for them to deal with. But then they have nothing going on, actually. I think I'm okay playing Raphael into a Simic Rhythm. Getting rid of this. And then that kind of takes away a problem that we would be concerned about otherwise. Simic Rhythm removing the Artist Talent is pretty big. And while they get to keep a 1/1, it's not the craziest thing. Because if they play another talent or a monument, then we'll just go Warleader's Call and have a huge turn. If not, we'll probably just play another Sharpshooter or play a Sharpshooter and try to torch a Otter. The other big thing, too, is we have several creatures that are 3 toughness, and this deck doesn't deal with 3 toughness very well. It deals with 1s and 2s pretty easily, but otherwise it needs to... Multiple 3s is tough. It needs to have, like, Lessons in the graveyard to power up their spells. If this is indeed the Lessons version. There's Izzet Prowess, there's a bunch of different, like, Izzet Bounce things, so we don't really know what it is just yet. Alright, they're not blocking, so they want to hold on to their Otter. And it doesn't pay for them to bounce a Simic Rhythm unless they just want an effect that turn. Because we'll just replay Simic Rhythm. Or in a later stage, we would probably just use Simic Rhythm to get rid of an Otter, so some creature out of the way. Though I'll try to edit this so y'all aren't having to sit through as long as I am. My opponent is not the fastest player for playing this style of deck. But that's okay. Sometimes you're trying a new deck, you're learning something. Just takes a little bit longer. Alright, so they got another Artist Talent. Alright, I think we're going to go for it here. I think this is a Warleader's Call turn. Oh, we get the best of everything. Because we get to get rid of the Otter. And a Warleader's Call incoming. Is this lethal? Not quite, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10? Nah, but we're going to get real close. Oh, it actually... Oh, they're going to be at 1. Oh, they're at 3. Alright. But now they're in trouble because every creature is 2 damage now. So even if you get rid of the Voice of Victory... Like, you have to get rid of both creatures here and hope I don't have another creature in hand. Or don't have a haste creature, right? Because then it's 1 point attack for 2. Yeah, this deck's wild because some of the hands look like they're just going to struggle a little bit. And then if you just get the one thing that goes the direction you need, you just take off. Alright, I guess the opponent is Dunzo. And we will just win before even getting to attack. It's such a weird sound for Alliance. It's just like a little... I guess it's supposed to be a high five sound? I don't know. Either way, that's game. Yeah, so this worked out pretty well. And I don't think I regretted not having the Calvin encampment at any point. I'm kind of glad I cut it. Realistically, though, we could probably do with like one less mountain and one more white source. But I know the minute I do that, we're going to get punished because we really only have, what is that, 7, 10 white cards, and we have effectively 14 white sources. So we should be totally fine because if you get even one that's active, you can cast everything. Only hurts on the early turns where you need a seam rip if you don't have a white source, but that's fine. Overall, I think, if anything, don't forget about the house squad heavy making some mana, because I think I did that at least once in this video. That could have changed things a little bit, so that's something to consider. Oh, also, let me throw in, we were right around 60% with this deck, which is very good. If you exclude the 1 or 2 times I kept like the 1 landers or whatever, because I knew those were going to be losses from the start. But really, if you're anywhere above 55%, that's actually pretty good. And considering this deck's going to run into some things that you won't play in like an actual tournament environment and it still holds up, that's not too bad. Now, this does have the sideboard with it, so if you want to play it best of 3, go ahead. I think this is a fine deck, though. It's got just enough removal for you to hang into games. It can be very quick. Obviously, main deck, you don't have anything against the graveyard decks, so you're going to need to hit the sideboard for stuff like that. The control decks, kind of the same thing. But overall, this is actually worthwhile, right? And just a quick glimpse, sideboard, you have Exercise, Rest in Peace, Maze, Bane, Lizard, Seer, Sunspine Links, which works against a lot of things. So, and I will say for this, you also can just like Rest in Peace if you don't have any of the parts and you're worried about graveyard stuff, right? Those are answers. There's various life gain things you could play. There's a bunch of stuff in red and white that can deal with artifacts and enchantments, so those are options if you want to go that route too. So lots of things you can still do here without having to be locked into any metagame issues, which I think is one of the things that makes this actually pretty appealing. But overall, yeah, we got to see all the cards in action. We got to see Ashnil in the game very quickly. There's really no complaints here. Overall, this deck is pretty solid, y'all. I get why people are playing it in some of these online tournaments and doing well. You saw what happened when we played against like the Landfall decks and whatever. If you get even 2 of your early removal spells, sometimes that's all you need to just set up your big turn, right? And we make enough tokens that you can chump block their stuff that, unless they have one of the tramplers, you're kind of good to go. So yeah, this one's a fun one. I think if you're looking for a way to up your game on a Warleader's Call deck, this could be worth considering. But I'll leave the link up for y'all to try it out over on Moxfield like always. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.